So what I'm going to talk about right now is going to directly address what you're dealing with. Who here has heard the term nervous system in their life? Yeah? Pretty common term. And this is a term, right, that's thrown around a lot in personal development and podcasts. Most of you guys know what that is. But very few people understand how much your nervous system impacts you, how much it controls your life. So your nervous system, just a little insight into what it is, it's your body's communication network. It is responsible for what you see, what you hear, your heartbeat. It impacts your movements, the tone of your voice, how loud you speak, how fast you speak, right? It impacts even what you say. And most importantly, it generates your emotional experience of reality. So every emotion you guys feel, whether it's joy or courage or shame or anxiety or pride, it's all generated by your nervous system. Now, why does this matter to you guys? Because you guys are here for dating and to master success with women, because your nervous system sets the ceiling to your success in dating. So if you have a weak, dysregulated nervous system, your results are going to be limited, very limited. If your nervous system is strong, if it's healthy, if it's very regulated, the ceiling is way, 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 way higher. Okay? So when it comes to your nervous system, there are two main states that you can be in. The first is going to be sympathetic, you guys have probably heard the term, or dysregulated. And the way this state shows up, let's talk about how it shows up in dating, is the tight body, right? The clenching of the fists, the tight throat, right? The pulling up of your energy, the overthinking, the attachment to outcome, the quick talking, the strategizing. What do I do? What do I say? Is this going to work? Is it not going to work, right? All of that is stemming from the dysregulation of your nervous system. All of those behaviors, not knowing what to say, fidgeting, pedestalizing, people-pleasing, approval-seeking, stuttering, stammering, choking up, fight or flight, all of it is just coming from this state of being dysregulated, okay? And women feel it instantly, right? They feel it from a mile away. They could sense it. It's like they just know that you're dysregulated. The second state is the parasympathetic state. It's the state of being regulated, being grounded, being calm, being present, having fun, being playful, being bold, being free from the outcome, the empty mind that we talk about, awareness of your own experience, awareness of her experience. All of that is a side effect of having a regulated nervous system. You being safe in your own body. Because when you're safe in your body, women feel safe in their bodies because they're a mirror, like we've talked about many times. So that's very important for you guys to know, because all the behaviors that we really break down at a deep level on the golden interaction calls, like the pedestalizing, the approval seeking, the playing it safe, all of it communicates to women that you have a weak and a dysregulated nervous system, a nervous system that she can't trust to lead her and to protect her. And this is all happening at a biological level. She doesn't know that that's what it is, right? To her, it's like, this guy's kind of awkward, friendly energy, I just wasn't feeling it. He gave me the ick, right? You've heard from Madison, from Mary Angel, like the way that they describe these behaviors. But if we want to get into the science of what's really happening, at a deep biological level, she cannot trust you. She cannot trust you because your nervous system is weak. It can't handle her. She can't trust you to procreate with her. She can't trust you to be the father of her children. She just cannot trust you. I want you guys to really sit with that for a second. Because why is this so important? Well, first of all, I know that all of you guys here are high performers. You're high achievers. All of you guys are not low-level people. You're here because you've got big goals and aspirations and ambitions. You're successful. You're financially doing much better than most people, right? You're driven. And you're here because you want to play even bigger. Is that right? You guys are all because you want to play bigger. That's why you're here. That's why you invested into the accelerator. That's why you fly out here, is because you want to be playing at a higher level in dating. You want to get more attractive women. You want to have more abundance. You want to have more confidence. You want to have more groundedness. You want to have sharper skills. Who doesn't want that, right? All of you guys want that. But what I'm going to tell you is that you getting there and you achieving all these things is not about effort. Because if it was just about effort, and if it was just about pushing yourself and trying harder and forcing yourself and just getting over your limiting beliefs, quote unquote, and just getting it done, all of you guys would already have the reality that you want. If it was just a matter of pushing harder. And that's the hard truth that most guys don't want to accept. Because most guys, they rationalize this in one of two ways. Either they tell themselves, it's my looks, it's my height, it's this, right? It's the amount of money that I make. If only I can make more. If only I have this car. If only I had, this Instagram following. Like, then I would have the results that I want. Or the second massive limiting belief and rationalization is the lack of time or lack of effort. Like, I just haven't been pushing myself hard enough. I just haven't had the time. The truth is that both of those are massive lies. Just complete fucking lies. And the truth that most guys don't want to accept is that it's not that they don't have the time, or that they're not working hard enough, or that they don't have the looks or the money or any of this external stuff. It's that they simply don't have the emotional capacity and the inner security to handle the reality that they want. It's that simple. If you can handle getting the 10 out of 10 girl, you would already had her. If you felt worthy of her, you would have already had her. If you had the capacity to stay calm and grounded and detached around that type of girl, you would have already had her. Does that make sense, guys? So, the analogy I want to give you is a graph. Your dating life is like a graph. On the y-axis, you have tension, something we've talked a lot about. Getting hotter women, bolder approaches, right? Group approaches, approaches in loud nightclubs, like some of you guys struggle with. Approaches in front of people seeing you. Having a stronger frame, being able to be very direct about your intentions. Be very powerful with women. Higher tension, right? All of you guys want to be able to create way more tension. You know that that's specifically what Max and I, with Neil, we hammer you guys on. Like, you need to create more tension. You need to create more tension. Why can't you create more tension, though? Is because there's another side to that graph that we maybe don't talk enough about that is very important, which is the x-axis, the horizontal axis. And this axis is all about your inner mastery. So how regulated you are, how safe you feel in your body, how aware are you of your emotions, how present are you with that tension. Because the truth is that to handle higher levels of tension, you need higher levels of inner mastery. That's how it works. So if you want to play bigger with women in your relationships, in your approaches, in your interactions, and separately in your businesses with money, if you want to play bigger, if you want to make a lot more money, a lot more, it means that you need more inner mastery. That's it. That's how it works. So everything you want in your life in terms of outer results, you need to be able to go deeper inwardly to be able to handle those outward results. It's that simple, right? Because money and women, it's not just by accident I'm talking about money. Money and women are both forms of feminine energy. And they flow to the man that feels the safest, to the man that can handle, that will be a good steward of the money and of the woman. Not to the reactive, frantic guy who can't handle anything, who's up and down emotionally, who's all over the place, who overthinks, who's attached to the outcome. That's not what money and women flow to. Like, if you look at people that are very, very wealthy, they're very calm. They're very grounded. They're very stoic in a way. Not that they don't have emotions, but they're very in touch with their inner experience. They're very regulated. They're not crazy all over the place. And you guys have all heard the examples of like the lottery winner or the NBA basketball player who ends up getting a huge contract or takes home a big sum of money and ends up blowing it, right? Going bankrupt in a year or two. Why? It's because their nervous system can't handle that amount. It's just far out of their reality. And it's the same thing with women, right? Some of you guys maybe have had the experience of getting a girl that you really are attracted to, like a top tier girl, only to completely fuck it up by date 3, by date 5, by date 10, whatever, right? But completely sabotaging. So that's what happens when you try to push for these big outer goals without having the inner mastery to go along with it, or the level of inner mastery that you need, right? Some of you guys might have some inner mastery, but there is like way more that you need to get to where you want to be on the outside. You end up collapsing. You end up sabotaging. It happened with me many, many times. I would be in this loop of like, I would get a very attractive girl, then I would get super needy, fuck it up, right? I would get in my head, I would get reactive, I would get jealous, I'd get controlling, like I would just mess things up. The fact that I'm able to date a model who I love and who I have a really healthy relationship for almost a year now, right? We've been together for 9 months ongoing, is because of all this inner work. I'd be cooked without it. Wouldn't be able to handle the tension, wouldn't be able to set the boundaries that I need to, wouldn't be able to challenge her the way that I need to, wouldn't be able to walk away and have her feel that if I needed to. Just be too attached, too needy, okay? So is all this making sense to you guys?
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope that this really hits home. Let's look at this more practically and then talk about how do we actually get this handled? How do we actually solve these deep nervous system issues? So all of you guys have had the experience, right, of seeing a beautiful girl, a girl that you're extremely attracted to. And what usually happens? Like, let's really get into the weeds of this pattern. You feel a bunch of anxiety, shame, overthinking, right? Different negative thoughts start looping in your head. Why does this really happen?
Our central nervous system?
Yeah, it doesn't happen just by accident. It happens because your nervous system is flagging her as dangerous on a biological level. Like, logically, it doesn't make sense. But your nervous system is associating beauty and you pursuing beauty as potential danger to you. And you go into fight or flight. That's what happens. So that's why trying to push through those negative thoughts of, I'm not good enough for her, she's out of my league, like I need to try harder, it doesn't work. Pushing through doesn't work.
Do you know why that fear like possibly exists, where it's like that's a pretty girl, like where in the programming subconsciously that actually pops up? Or the same thing with money, where it's like, oh, like, you know, like, because you wouldn't think like, oh, that's too much money for me, but somehow you're...
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it, where, like, really where it comes from.
Yeah.
Hint, it comes from your childhood.
Yeah.
But in that moment, right, simply pushing through doesn't work. It doesn't, right? Does not work. So what do you guys really need to do in that moment? You need to be able to regulate your nervous system. And a lot of you have maybe tried to solve a nervous system issue with mental tactics, trying to like push through, outwit yourself, convince yourself that it's not a big deal, that you can just get over it. It is a big deal because you literally don't feel safe in that moment to take action. You literally do not feel safe. Okay, so who wants to talk about the 2 levels to how to actually solve this? Yeah? Okay, let's talk about it. Let me take a sip of water. So the first level, if you guys could take some notes now, this could be helpful. The first level to regulating and mastering your nervous system is what I call outer regulation. Outer regulation. So these are all the very common biohacking things that people talk about, such as number 1, high quality, consistent sleep. That is massive. Like I can feel when I get terrible sleep and I can feel when I get great sleep. The difference in my state is pretty big in terms of my ability to step into tension and to handle things. Not super sexy or exciting, but it is something very important. The second one is exercise. Consistently exercising, training hard, but not overtraining. Not burning yourself out. Doing aerobic, anaerobic exercise, right? Cardio, weightlifting, very important. High quality food. So eating food that is not processed, that doesn't have a bunch of seed oils in it, like clean, healthy food. Fixing these 3 things for myself, because I used to not sleep well, I used to not train hard enough or consistently enough, and I would just kind of eat whatever I thought was like, quote unquote, healthy, like Subway sandwiches, bread with some, turkey on it. Like that's not actually healthy food. You have to really dial this in as a baseline. Like this is non-negotiable stuff for you guys. If you want to be successful in life, you have to get high quality sleep, train at least 4 times a week, do cardio, and eat high quality healthy food, right? That we could get into macronutrients, micronutrients, all that stuff. That's more personalized to each one of you guys, but that's not relevant for today's conversation. There's other things, right? Like deep tissue massage can be really good. Cold plunges can be really good. Saunas can be really good. Breath work can be really good. All of these other additives, spending time outside, getting sunlight, walking, very good. Spending time in nature. These are all external ways to regulate your nervous system. So why not pull as many of these levers as you can if you know that they're going to serve you in dating? Another huge thing that I did not mention is not only doing all these things, but there's a lot of stuff that you guys need to stop doing. Porn, scrolling, just aimlessly, doom scrolling on your phone, right? Drinking, caffeine, vaping. Like if you do any of this stuff, cut it out. It's just, you're actively dysregulating yourself.
I think caffeine's that bad.
Yeah, caffeine is not good. It is not good.
Did you bring it to 0?
I don't drink any caffeine. I have green tea when I really, really need it, like twice a month. Like 20 milligrams caffeine, like barely anything.
Any other supplements for energy?
So there is customized stuff that you can do. And that's, we can have a private conversation around that. I've done a lot of research. But for this talk, I just want to give you guys high level. Sleep, nutrition, exercise, cardio, sunlight, sauna is good, not overdoing it, right? A little bit of cold plunge here and there can be very good, not every day. So anything in excess becomes bad. Anything good that you overdo becomes bad. Okay? But the real way to regulate your nervous system, right? This is just baseline stuff. It's going to boost you from, like, let's say if we're talking on a scale of 1 to 10 and you want to be at a 10 in terms of nervous system regulation and you're currently, let's say, at a 2, it get you to a 4 doing these things. But it's not going to get you to a 10. If you have a bunch of childhood trauma, if you have a ton of shame in your body, if you've been pushing down a bunch of anxiety and you're numb, it's not going to get you to a 10 simply going to the gym. And some of you guys have experienced that. Like you're doing all the optimized man stuff, right? The stuff that the Joe Rogans and the podcast talk about, but you're still not getting the results that you want. It's because you got a little bit of a boost, but you're not, there's like a huge gap of where you need to be. And that's the inner regulation, okay? Your inner regulation. This is the deep work, and this is what we do here. So, by the way, real quick, all that outer stuff, if all of you guys have access to the accelerator, in module 10, I talk about it. And there's a reason I talk about it. It's because it's very helpful. But let's talk about the real juice here, right? The inner regulation. There are 3 things that I'll share that have made the biggest difference in my life. Because I used to be extremely dysregulated, highly emotionally reactive, couldn't sit in my body for my life, right? Especially under tension with women. Tension in business, tension with everything, to be honest. The first is emotional awareness. Emotional awareness. So it's not by accident, guys, that I keep talking and hammering at go do the emotional awareness meditation. And the one in the accelerator is the basic one. Like that alone will massively help you guys. Just sitting down every day for 20 minutes, I think it's a 17-minute meditation, and just getting out of your head, connecting with your emotions. That alone, if you can do that every single day, will bump you from like a 4 to a 6. Huge. But there are deeper levels that you can go, right? So if you have specific emotions that you're stuck on, let's say sadness or shame or anxiety or guilt that's like trapped in your body, inside of Elite, which we'll talk more about tomorrow, we literally have emotional awareness meditations for every single emotion. Most of you guys are in Elite, by the way. So you know, like we're literally moving up the emotional scale and we're working through every single trapped emotion in your body. We're putting awareness on it, because that's what you do when you sit down, you close your eyes, you watch that emotion, you allow it to do what it does, you allow it to move, you see how big it is, how intense it is, where it is in your body, and then you slowly allow it to flow and to open up and to run its course. The more of these suppressed emotions you could release from the body, the more you actually start to feel safer in the body. The reason you don't feel safe in the body is because your body, think of it like a house that's filled with dirty garbage that hasn't been clean in 40 years, that's just loaded with fungus and mold, and it's just disgusting in there. That's your emotional body, right? It's just loaded with just sadness and shame and numbness, and it's like, of course you don't want to live in there. Why the fuck would you want to live in there? It's much better in the mind, right? It's much better to just be looping in your mind. At least it's like not disgustingly painful in there. So you have to be able to clean your inner body. Every emotion that you can release will make a difference. Some of you guys have already felt it. Like it will immediately make a difference on your results in dating and in whatever else that you do, especially if you're an entrepreneur. It's going to make a huge difference in how you communicate, how you show up, your presence. Like Max, I know with you, you were so numb when you started. You were just full of numbness, right? You didn't want to be in your body. It felt like hell in there. Yep. But then through this work, like, can you guys see he's just in his body? He's in there. He's not even paying rent. Like he's literally living in his body. So that's where you want to get to. And that just takes a lot of work. Like Max did 2 to 3 years of extremely deep emotional awareness meditations, nearly every day, just working through layer after layer after layer. So that's one piece of it. The second piece to this is going to be reparenting. And I'm going to focus more heavily on this tomorrow night when we talk about shame. We're going to talk about shame tomorrow. But reparenting is what gives you what you never received as a child. Because where did you learn to be dysregulated? Like, where is that even coming from? It's not like by accident, because as a child, you're born full of wonder, you're totally trusting of the world. It's a blank slate for you subconsciously. But if you see a mom that is shaking and that is frenetic and that is, oh, like I need to make money, like we have no money, right? Like if you get that energy constantly, right? An avoidant, a distant, a dysregulated mom or a dad, you as a baby just get fucking flooded with that subconsciously. Just imprint after imprint after imprint that you create that shapes how you view the world. And I'm not saying, by the way, that your parents are bad. Like this is not like a program to blame your parents. This is about seeing that your parents did the best that they could, but that they really lacked resources. They didn't have tools. They themselves were probably deeply traumatized by their parents. And actually, the ultimate goal is to be able to fully forgive your parents. But you can't fully forgive your parents until you get what you need. Or else you're going to be walking around with a bunch of unmet needs, seeking them through women, seeking them through sex, seeking them through alcohol, seeking them through all of these other dopamine activities, trying to indirectly meet your needs, like safety, attunement, comfort, delight, encouragement. So the only true way is to get them through the process that I call reparenting. It's been life-changing for me. It's been life-changing for a lot of you guys already who have done it. Like Max has been doing reparenting for what, 2.5 years now? 3 years. So there's not a single guy that goes through this process and isn't completely changed in every way. It's just you got to do it. You got to put in the work, right? It's also not enough to just say, okay, fine, let me give this a try. Like you actually have to do the work. You have to do the inner work every single day. I haven't missed a meditation in 3 years. 3 years, I haven't missed a reparenting meditation. I didn't care if I was traveling, if I was with my girlfriend, if I was single, if I was going through a nightmare in my business. I did not miss a single day. Not a single day. Because I knew how important it was. Because I knew that later on it would pay off. And it did pay off in every way. Okay? So that's the second piece to nervous system regulation, is if you didn't get these needs met from your actual parents, you got to get it through your ideal parents, which are going to give you a model of what it's like to be safe, a model for what it's like to be regulated, a model for what it's like to feel like you are enough. Okay? Now, the third element to this is not something that I really talk about often. Quick caveat to number one. It's not enough to just do these emotional awareness meditations. You have to be meditating throughout your day. What do I mean by that? Turn your life into a meditation. So when you're talking to women, practice staying in your body. Practice feeling your emotions. Practice being with yourself versus abandoning yourself. Falling into all these old tendencies and behaviors, right? When you develop enough awareness and consciousness through these meditations, you can directly use that during your approaches. So when you notice your nervous system getting totally out of whack, you can watch that, you can see that process happening, you can catch it, and you can come back to yourself. We call that metacognition, is that you see the old cycle playing out, you catch it, and you come back to yourself. And eventually, being with yourself, being in your body becomes your default. The only final thing I'll add, this will give you guys everything you need to get to a 10. For me personally, God has also been a really big part of my journey. It's been huge for me. It's connecting with God, prayer, and just surrendering, right, to a higher power. That's been massive for me. In addition to these other modalities that I've worked with, in terms of getting to this very, very deep place of safety. And that's not something that I can pitch or package for you guys. It's just something I want to share that has been very, very impactful. Thank you guys.